Hey, top of the day to you, top of the morning to you. Yes, it's another one of these, and FBTV podcast. You may be saying, why? Why, Mike? Why are you doing another podcast this week? Well, it's pretty simple. We are planning, and I think I may have said something about this the other day, but we are actually planning to maybe start doing these podcasts live on YouTube as well as our own FreightBrokerTV.com channel. You'll be able to see them both places at the same time, simultaneously. We'll see about that, but I know it's going to be live. This one is not live, and the reason it is not live is because we are in the process of experimenting. Make sure we can do it right. Obviously, we have another camera set up. Will we use that in the future? Might. That's what we're waiting on. That's why we can't do it live. We've got to get some more equipment so that we can broadcast live. Basically, a couple of cables and a box. Basically what it amounts to. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, and we'll see. Today is November 18th. It's Wednesday, the middle of the week. I know some people don't like to say hump day. And for whatever reason, we used to say it all the time in radio. You know, it's hump day. Hey, we're halfway through the week. We're over the hump. We're downhill from here, that kind of thing. But a lot of people don't like that. Now, one thing you will find quite a bit different with the live podcast, well, not that you ever knew it before, but with the podcast, it's not going to be looking at the camera that much. It may happen occasionally, but not really that much. But anyway. All right, if you want to, we got some business to take care of, and then we'll get into all the things we're going to talk about today. Check out our website, FreightBrokerTV.com. FBTV is broadcasting 24/7, just like a real TV station, and also you can hear the FBTV radio. That's on the air, broadcasting 24/7 as well. You go to FreightBroker TV, and up to, hold on a minute. Windows computers, nothing but pop-ups. Hey, we're getting ready to do this. You want us to do that? But anyway, neither here nor there. On our website, FBTV, you'll find in the right column, it says FBTV Radio. You can listen to our radio. It's broadcasting 24/7. It's got some content you won't find anywhere else that's being played on the radio. There is an app you can download, it's an iPhone app now. And it's not ours, it's an internet radio tuner, but you'll see it there. And it's got the stream URL that you can enter into the internet radio tuner and be able to take FBTV radio with you wherever you go. Now, topic of the day. We're going to be hitting on this throughout the day on and off. COVID-19 vaccine. Love it or hate it. Everybody's got their opinion. I've got mine. What's yours? I would like to hear from you. You can leave a comment below, because this podcast is actually going to be posted on YouTube, as will all of our future podcasts, as they'll be live. And we will obviously have to test that out, but we got a pretty good hold on that. But anyway, COVID-19. What do I got? 10 here. COVID-19 vaccine. Everybody's talking about it, but they can't even figure out if you've got it or not. So how can they be sure they've got a vaccine? Look, this is coming from the government that really doesn't have a clue what's going on right now with coronavirus. Stay home, don't stay home, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. I mean, over the last 8 or 9 months, we've heard everything, literally. And I think that's what a lot of people are scared of right now, is another shutdown. Don't think a lot of people could handle another shutdown. Personally, well, let me just put it this way. I have never had any type of a flu vaccine. Never. So I really don't expect myself to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And to be real honest about it, I think I'd rather get the flu vaccine than ever getting close to this COVID-19 vaccine, because too many things are going wrong. If you heard the other podcast from yesterday, and I think we even talked about this in the FBTV Insider video, Elon Musk, I think it was last week, he had 4 tests done on the same day. Four tests on the same day. 2 of those tests came up positive, 2 negative. An actress, I need to find out what her name was. She was doing a COVID-19 test because she's got a part coming up in a TV show or something like that. And she had to be tested. Well, one nostril they tested was positive. The other nostril negative. So what do you do? But anyway, if you've got a comment about the COVID-19 vaccine, what are you going to do? Are you going to take it, ignore it, run from it, whatever? I'd like to know. Leave a comment below. Or you can email us at fbtv@freightbrokertv.com. Again, that email address, fbtv@freightbrokertv.com. Go to our website, freightbrokertv.com. There are tons of forms. Matter of fact, I imagine these videos are now going to be posted as a video along with the audio for the podcast, so you'll probably be able to see those on our website now. This is new. We're going to get this figured out. Or you can call our studio line. Our studio line is 479-668-0213. That's 479-668-0213. Keep in mind, though, if you leave a message on our studio line, you know, kind of implies that we might use your voice or your audio, the recording, in a future podcast, broadcast, video, whatever it might be. Okay, today, November 18th, 2020. Just a little over a month and a half will be in 2021, and from the way it looks right now, 2021 is going to start just like 2020 ended. But we're still a month and a half away, month and 12 days anyway. A lot could happen. It could be worse. But anyway, if you're having a birthday today, August the 18th, happy birthday to you. And we may be doing this in the future on every podcast. And I don't know, we may move to a daily podcast. Too soon to tell yet. We'll know more when we get to that point. But if you're having a birthday today, you're in pretty good company. Alan Shepard was born on this date back in 1923. Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, 1928. Linda Evans, remember that name? Crystal from Dynasty, Audra, the Big Valley, Audra. Having a birthday today. She's born in this state back in 1942. Jameson Parker, Simon and Simon. I like that show. Matter of fact, I think that show's on Hulu. isn't it? Is Simon and Simon on Hulu? He's having a birthday today. Jack Tatum. Remember that name? Oakland Raiders. He was a football player, born in this state back in 1948. Kevin Nealon, comedian, born in this state back in 1953, rather. He's got his own YouTube channel where he takes people on a hike. I don't know if you've seen that or not. John Parr. Remember the song Naughty Naughty? St. Elmo's Fire. He's born in this state back in 1954. Warren Moon, quarterback, played for the Oilers when they were Houston. Vikings and Seahawks. He was born in this state back in 1956. Sinbad, the comedian, he's born on this date back in 1956 as well. And I don't know if you've heard, but he's been in the hospital recovering from a recent stroke. He may be out by now. Owen Wilson, Wedding Crashers, Starsky and Hutch. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's the one with the nose. Luke Wilson's brother. He was born on this day back in 1968. And a happy birthday to Megyn Kelly. Remember Megan, Fox News Megyn Kelly? She's got her own podcast now. Matter of fact, she's showing up all over the place. If you watch Newsmax, well, she's everywhere except Fox. I'm guessing that. I don't watch Fox, but anyway, she's got her own podcast. She's having a birthday today. Happy birthday to Megan. Fuel prices. Yesterday, I was talking about, I think it was yesterday, maybe I'm wrong, that gasoline had actually went down, and in reality, though, looking this morning, it has gone up 2 cents. Now, diesel, that's the big one. Diesel fuel has gone up 6 cents a gallon. 6 cents. Checking into that, and the reason why is due to the high demand. High demand has increased it. Again, we get into this supply and demand. So if there's a high demand, obviously the prices are going to go up. Now, that brings me to, where is it? The Pennsylvania DOT, they get approval on plan to add tolls to the bridges. And part of the reason they're getting to add tolls to the bridges, now keep in mind what I just said about the diesel, up 6 cents a gallon due to high demand. Well, Pennsylvania's upping the tolls on bridges, or to add tolls to bridges to help offset gas tax revenue losses due to people not buying fuel. Well, gasoline, I guess. All right, disregard that. That's gasoline. We're talking about diesel. The Pennsylvania DOT, Department of Transportation, PennDOT, considering a plan to add tolls to several of the state's bridges as a means of funding infrastructure repairs. I know when I was driving, I used to drive across 76 up there all the time. And I think from the time they built that road, it was messed up. It was terrible. Bump, bump, bump. Now, when I first started driving, I had the opportunity to make 1/2 cent a mile more if I drive a cab over. And this was a spring ride cab over. And I can remember trips going across 76 up there in PA. My head literally bouncing off the roof of the cab. Those were the days. Let's see, just about 6 days ago, the Pennsylvania Public-Private Transportation Partnership P3 Board approved the Major Bridge P3 program that will allow the Penn DOT to partner with companies in the private sector to accelerate critical work on major bridges across the state through the consideration of user fees or tolls. I crack up because they try to use different terms to disguise what they're really talking about. User fees, that's a nice way of saying tolls. The tolls are going to be placed on 5 to 10 major bridges, but no idea which ones yet. Also, keep in mind, January 3rd, 2021, Turnpike tolls will be increasing by 6%. That's coming up January 3rd in PA. Hey, if you're a driver and you're out on Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to repeat this until Thanksgiving Day. So you're going to hear it today. I've got a couple of podcasts before Thanksgiving next week, and I'll probably say it a couple of more times. But if you're a driver, you're going to be in Boise, Idaho on Thanksgiving Day. Boise stage stop. You want to stop there, get a free Thanksgiving dinner. 14th year in a row. And again, I keep saying that I should call them and find out. But I know it's Boise stage stop. Back in the 90s, they did this. But they're saying here 14 years in a row. But it's still possible they did it back in the 90s. But I know somewhere up there. I was up there one Thanksgiving and stopped in to and got a free Thanksgiving dinner. Anyways, free Thanksgiving dinner for anyone with a valid CDL. Drivers have an opportunity to win prizes during the driver appreciation event, so you want to check that out. Keep in mind, too, that it's click it or ticket time. It's going to be click it or ticket time until it looks like November 29th. Another way for the DOT and the local law enforcement to get in our pockets. I get it. It's the holidays. You want to keep the roads safe. But I'm sure revenue is down in pretty much all the states. All right. Keep in mind, too, if you're an insider or not, perhaps even, we get to these YouTube videos, doing these YouTube videos live. You may want to follow us on Twitter while we're on Twitter. Looking at some of these options now, like me, we, I can't remember. And there's another one, I forget what it's called, but we're looking at those to kind of get away from the norm. Get away from the censorship. Not that they've ever censored any of our content, but I'm sure it's coming someday. We're trying to get out to places where there is no censorship. I mean, no obvious political slant to the censorship anyway. You know, my thing is, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, I don't care. Just don't be stupid about it. And it seems like a lot of people get stupid about it. As far as that goes, it's been a weird year. It was a weird election, and I'll be glad when it's over. A lot of people are. It depends on what side of the fence you're on. People are saying it's over, but you sure don't feel like it. But follow us on Twitter at Freight TV, at Freight TV. Follow us on Twitter, and you will be notified. If you're an insider, you're getting notifications already when we're getting ready to do a live broadcast. But YouTubers, if you follow us on YouTube, if you follow us on Twitter at Freight TV, you'll also be notified when we are getting ready to do a live broadcast, which should be coming up here pretty soon. Again, this one's recorded. We're doing this one early in the morning, but in the future they're going to be live, so keep that in mind. All right, now here's something. I saw this, and it kind of caught my eye. Where'd it go? Oh, up in Washington State. Fire chief says that a truck driver followed their GPS to somewhere they ought not to be. This guy, I don't know when it happened, But it's a story, it's on CDL Live, I believe, and I saw it, and it really rang home for me. Not that I trust GPS, always, GPS is a car in one thing, because if you mess up, if it's not right, you can quickly turn around and correct, and go wherever you need to go. In a big truck, it's either going to be too late. Well, that's it. It's going to be too late when, once you find out it's whatever directions it gave you is wrong. But a fire chief for a small town in Washington state shared a cautionary tale about the consequences of putting too much faith in the GPS. Paul Sowers, maybe Sowers, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, forgive me, but he's the fire chief of the Greenwater Crystal Mountain Fire Department. Anyway, he said he went on Facebook to share the story of a truck driver who got stuck on a snowy logging road known as Forest Service Road 70. Okay, right there, Forest Service Road 70. If I know it's a Forest Service road, I'm in a big truck, that pretty much tells me, stay away. Anyway, Paul says, our other situation, which started yesterday and is ongoing, involves a semi-truck that followed their GPS to someplace that they ought not to be. The 70 road. The driver is uninjured, and work is underway to make a plan to get the truck out of there. I'm going to head up shortly to see how it's going. It should be interesting. I think most of what I would say about this is self-evident, and I'm also sure that the driver has been saying it to himself since yesterday. Now, the reason that was funny to me, I feel bad for the driver. I mean, it happens, but come on, guys, you can't trust that GPS. I mean, use it, but still, make a phone call, get directions. Get directions to where you're going. Now, if you're a broker agent, we always tell our clients, never give directions to the driver. Give them the phone number of the shipper or the receiver. You don't want to get in the middle of that. Even if you've got the directions right there on the paperwork, you've been there 1,000 times, don't give directions to the driver. Give them the phone number. The reason is if your directions aren't 100% spot on, that you give the driver. Now, I'm talking about as the broker. If your directions aren't 100% spot on, and that driver causes damage to their equipment or somebody else's property, that could come back on you, and that's the last thing you want. So let the shipper, the receiver, give the driver the phone number so they can get directions in and be done with it. Okay, you have no responsibility there. Now, the reason this story stuck out to me is back years ago when I was driving, I had a load of Christmas trees I was picking up in Salem, Oregon. I didn't have no GPS. I had called and got directions, and everything was going fine until the pavement turned into a dirt road and I was going up a mountain. My big old Freightliner Classic 53-foot trailer, and I was on a dirt road. And if somebody would have been coming the other way, that was just going to be tough because somebody's going to have to back up. And if we were able to squeeze by, it would just be barely. And I'm going up this dirt road, and I'm starting to get nervous because there's no place to turn around. No place to turn around. And I'm going up and up and up, and finally I come to a spot, and I look over off to my left. There's a house there. I can't turn around there, but I see two people out in the garden. So I set my brakes. Open the doors, climb out on the step, and I see a head pop up. He looks at me, and he motions, "Go on." That made me feel better because he was telling me, "Go on." It was like I'm not the first truck that stopped to make sure I was going the right way. So I kept on. I finally got up to the top of the mountain, and there it was, the Christmas tree farm. The only time in my life I had to sign a waiver stating that I would yield to helicopters. And I thought, how weird. I mean, you didn't have to get me to sign a statement saying I'd yield to helicopters. I mean, that's kind of a give me. But I thought about that, and I thought, man, if they're really making me sign something stating that I would yield to helicopters, that tells me somebody didn't. And that's why they had that form. So, anyway, that just kind of cracked me up. Things you might need to know. Amazon has opened an online pharmacy that delivers prescriptions. I'm not going to get my medication from Amazon. Thank you very much. Walmart online shopping has increased 79% in the third quarter of this year. Conan O'Brien is ending his 28-year run as a late-night talk show host. I don't know, that guy's bounced around. He's been kicked around quite a bit. Yet his Conan O'Brien show, then he became the host of The Tonight Show when Jay Leno was retired or whatever it might have been. Then Jay decided to come back, and Conan was booted after a few months, and didn't he have to take a year off or something like that? I think so. And then TBS picked him up. And I really had no clue he was still doing anything. I see his YouTube's on video, but it was just weird. Everybody's doing their. I don't watch a lot of late night TV. After Johnny Carson, David Letterman, it's just hard for me to watch anymore. Too old. I'm in bed by 8 anyway because I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, 10th season on TBS. That's going to be his last. He signed on for a new weekly variety series on HBO Max, pulling a Letterman there, like Letterman did with Netflix. And this is true. Other things you might need to know, you may have been noticing this too. More people are putting up their holiday lights early this year. And it goes on to say, trying to add some brightness to this already dark time of year. No, here, I'm noticing it all over the place here where I'm at. In Arkansas, people are putting up their Christmas decorations early. And the reason is it's been warm. I mean, even today, what are we talking about? You're supposed to be up, going to be 72 today, 75 tomorrow, 75 Friday, 75 on Saturday. And then we drop down to the 50s on Sunday and Monday, then back up in the 60s again next week. Thursday, going to be 66, partly cloudy. We're a little warm for this time of year. I noticed that in Arizona, Phoenix, they hit a record yesterday or day before about the most 90-degree days. We're having a 90-degree plus day on this late in the year. I mean, it's kind of a warm year. It's all that hot air from the politicians, don't you think? Okay, if you haven't checked out the FBTVinsider.com, check it out. The content's free. You will find this video there, as well as on Freight Broker TV, as well as on YouTube. But we have a lot more content on FBTV Insider. The FBTVinsider.com, it's free. You can sign up. You have access to all of our public content. But if you want to pay a monthly subscription, $2.99 a month, $24.95 a year, you will have access to the insider content, more audio, more videos, more live broadcasts, so check that out. All right, I believe we have about wrapped this one up. Again, this is going on YouTube, and this podcast, and that's what it's been. It's been a podcast. I guess you would call it a vodcast, a vcast, I don't know. It's a video podcast. Seems to be the going thing. So, welcome to the 21st century. So, you're going to be able to hear the audio version. And I know some of you are going to scratch your heads going, what is this? We just got a podcast, yesterday. Why another one? Because we're moving into that next level. Taking it to the next level so we can join the 21st century, have more content for you. All right. Don't forget to follow us if you are using a podcast app, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeart, whatever you might be using. But If you're watching this video on YouTube, click subscribe below. We can use that. Click the bell, whatever. Tell your friends about us. Keep coming back. We've got a lot of other videos as well talking about being a freight broker training. You can find us on YouTube. Where are we on YouTube? Let me go down here and look. I should know that. We are at, if you're listening to the podcast and you didn't find us on YouTube, well, our channel is Freight Broker TV, YouTube Freight Broker TV, so check that out. All right, very good. Well, listen, go have a great Wednesday, unless, of course, you've made other plans. We'll talk soon.